Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud dismissed his defense minister, Abuldkadir Mohamed Nur, on Sunday following lobbying efforts by the U.S. military, sources told Middle East Eye. Nur has been reassigned as the Minister of Ports amid indications that U.S. military support for Somalia's fight against al-Shabaab, an armed group designated as a terrorist organization by Washington, has slowed. Two sources familiar with the situation told ME that Nur's efforts to deepen Somalia's military, energy, and aerospace cooperation with Turkey unsettled Washington, which maintains closer ties with the United Arab Emirates in the Horn of Africa. Under Nur's leadership, Somalia and Turkey signed a comprehensive naval, trade, and defense agreement in February last year. While the full details of the deal remain undisclosed, sources indicate that it grants Turkey the responsibility of safeguarding Somali waters, establishing a Somali navy, and assisting in the exploration of energy resources as a response to Ethiopia's naval deal with the breakaway region of Somaliland. Nur, a graduate of Ankara University and a fluent Turkish speaker, has cultivated strong ties with Turkey's leadership over the years. U.S. pressure. A Somali official told ME that U.S. military officers repeatedly pressured Mohamud to dismiss Nur, citing concerns over his lack of coordination with American forces. They also demanded access to the February agreement, the official said. These discussions happened multiple times throughout the year as U.S. lobbying efforts intensified. The official also noted that Washington was displeased with Turkey's plans to establish a spaceport in Somalia and potentially launch rockets, which could be perceived as long-range ballistic missile tests. Additionally, Ankara's recent agreements to explore oil and gas resources in Somali territory reportedly did not sit well with U.S. officials. The official and another source told ME that Turkey's deployment of two Bayraktar Akinci-armed drones to Mogadishu on Tuesday to combat al-Shabaab was the final straw. The Americans essentially made it clear that if Nur wasn't removed, they would reconsider their security cooperation with Mogadishu against al-Shabaab, the second source said. Earlier this month, the U.S. Embassy in Mogadishu issued a security warning about a possible al-Shabaab attack on the city's airport and other locations, leading to flight cancellations by Qatar Airways and Turkish Airlines. Meanwhile, in February, U.S. President Donald Trump ordered airstrikes targeting the Islamic State group's leadership in Somalia. In March, Washington also cut funding to the Danube Special Forces, an elite Somali army unit trained and supported by U.S. Africa Command. Somali Finance Minister Bihi Iman Age told Parliament that the government now needs to seek alternative funding sources to cover Danube salaries. Ahmed Abdullahi Sheikh, a former Danube commander, praised Mohamud's decision to remove Nur. "I wholeheartedly welcome the change in leadership," he said. Turkish-Somali relations. A Turkish official, however, downplayed the impact of Nur's dismissal on Ankara-Mogadishu relations, emphasizing that Turkey's ties with Somalia are based on institutional cooperation rather than personal connections. "This will not affect our relationship," the official said. All agreements with Mogadishu were signed with the government and the Somali president. The official also noted Turkey's significant contributions to Somalia, including investments in infrastructure and defense. Tunç Demirtaş, a regional expert at Ankara-based think tank SITA, expressed confidence that Turkey would continue supporting Somalia's counterterrorism efforts. Moving forward, the focus will be on strengthening institutional structures rather than individual actors, ensuring that strategic cooperation continues in alignment with mutual interests, he said. ME has asked the U.S. government for comment.